Okay, I hit go live. As we all know, it's kind of meaningless because it now tells me it's setting up my meeting on Facebook Live. And it may, in fact, actually already be started. Now it's taking me to Facebook, which is usually the way they tell me. And let me go back to Zoom and see what it says. I am live on Facebook. Hello, welcome to Tea and New Book Tuesday. I, once again, am hampered by a microphone. Same reason as last time. Although I think last time I told you guys the microphone was here so I could record Tea and New Book Tuesday as a possible podcast. And now we're thinking maybe the podcast should be about audiobooks. So it would be previews of the new audiobooks coming the next month to Mobile Public Library, which today would be the day for me to record that because today we're going to review the audiobooks coming in May to Mobile Public Library. First, let me share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. We go here, we say share. Let me move this thing out my way. Sorry, I had to give up my mouse because I have so many things plugged into this computer. There we go. Tea and New Book Tuesday. Yes. All right. Welcome. Today we're going to go over audiobooks, like I said, but also sci-fi, fantasy, and horror. Mostly sci-fi and fantasy. I feel like I don't think there's a single title that I would fully call horror. My tea this morning is Tea Forte. Again, my very last one. It's mountain oolong tea, which is so good. I had no idea what it was going to taste like because I don't think I've drank very much oolong tea. It's good stuff. What I just read, I finished Joe by Larry Brown. It was depressing. And it has kind of an abrupt ending. So takes forever to get going and then gets to the end and just drops off. The actual descriptions and is well written and the characters are well developed. But not much on the plot this one. Not much at all. Also, it's a big bummer. Okay, let's get into things that are much happier, like today's giveaway. I have a total of 4 books to give away, 3 different titles. First up, we have I'll Be Strong for You, of which I have 2 copies. I'll Be Strong for You by Nassim Marashi. This award-winning debut novel by Iranian journalist Nassim Marashi follows the lives of 3 young women in Tehran over the course of 2 seasons as they pursue their wildly different dreams, even as they discover that it may mean breaking with the past and endangering their long-standing friendship. I thought it sounded really interesting, as does the next one, The 5 Wounds by Kristen Valdez Quaid. So from an award-winning storyteller comes a stunning debut novel about a New Mexico family's extraordinary year of love and sacrifice. And finally, a book I think I've given away before, but I found another copy. Final Revival of Opal and Ned by Donnie Walton. It's a poignant fictional oral history of a beloved rock and roll duo who shot to fame in the 70s, New York, and the dark fraught secret that lies at the peak of their stardom. If you would like to win any of these titles, put I want to win in the comments below. If you have a preference for one of them, go ahead and put that in. If you don't have a preference, don't worry about it. And I will draw that winner probably Friday, depending on how the week goes. If not, it'll be Saturday morning. All right. Coming up here at MPL, and more specifically at Ben May Main Library, which, by the way, is where I do the show from. This Friday, we're going to do a showing in our parking lot of Kiss the Ground in celebration of Earth Day. It will start at 7:30 p.m. You can come and sit in your car and listen to the movie's audio on your radio, or you can come bring chairs. I have a couple of radios I can pass out so that people can hear the audio. If you want to do it that way, or if you have a radio you want to bring, you could do that. Either way, it'll be this Friday. All right, let's start off with all of these audiobooks, of which there are many audiobooks this month, including some that I won't discuss until I get to them today. First up, we have the nonfiction, both coming out May 4th, Bill O'Reilly and Martin Dugard's Killing the Mob, and The Windsor Diaries, 1940 to 1945 by Althea Fitzland Howard. More nonfiction coming up on May 11th, Facing the Mountain by Daniel James Brown, which is a true story of Japanese American heroes in World War II, and Brat, an 80s story by Andrew McCarthy. We're also getting a historical fiction title, which is The Woman with the Blue Star, coming out May 4th. More fiction, we have The Plot by Jean Hanoff Korelitz, Stacey Abrams' While Justice Sleeps, and Mary Alice Monroe's The Summer of Lost and Found, all coming out May 11th. We have more audio that I will get to by the end of this list of science fiction, fantasy, and horror. So let's get to the books, starting with Firebreaker by Nicole Corner Stace. Don't know if I've got that right, but let's guess that's what it means. All right. So Mallory lost everything in the corporate wars, her family, her home, but that doesn't make her unusual. That's true of most of the people she knows. She now lives in an apartment with 8 other people, all of them working themselves to the bone just to survive and afford things like water. Her work gives her a chance to take glimpses at the biggest celebrity in this dystopian version of America, the spec ops operatives. When she realizes that spec ops aren't created, which is what they've been told, they're actually orphans like her who have been modified and tortured into becoming super soldiers, she has to do something, even if exposing the corporation puts herself and everyone she cares about in danger. A handful of early reviews have given this over 4 stars, so if you're interested in Firebreak, it comes out May 4th. All right, Sorrowland by Rivers Solomon. We begin with Vern, who is pregnant with twins when she flees the strict religious compound on which she was raised. She gives birth out in the woods, but her community keeps pursuing her. Then she'll unleash a brutality on them she didn't think she was capable of, and it begins to change her body, metamorphosizing her in a way she doesn't understand, and she will have to return to the compound to figure out what's going on. Early readers are giving this a rating of nearly 4 stars. If you're interested in Sorrowland, it comes out May 4th. All right, just a quick note that Shadowed Steel by Chloe Neal is coming out. If you're reading the Heirs, is it Heirs? Yeah, Heirs of Chicagoland series, this is book number 3, and it will be out May 4th. Master Artificer by Justin T. Call. This is the second in the Silent God series. It comes out May 18th. All right, How to Mars by David Edenbach. This is supposed to be funny. It's about 6 lucky scientists who earn a chance to go to Mars for the rest of their lives. They'll be part of a reality TV program that records, edits, and turns their exploits into a ratings bonanza back on Earth. But eventually, even scientists get tired of nothing but science all the time. They start having affairs, things start to go wrong, and soon they're faced with a situation nothing in their training could have prepared them for. This debut novel doesn't have enough early readers to mention, but according to the description, it follows the tradition of Ray Bradbury's Barton Chronicles with a dash of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and a hint of the real world, which is a hell of a combination. If you are interested in How to Mars, it comes out May 18th. All right. Give me a second to get to my next note. And we'll do this. There we go. The Apocalypse 7 by Jean Duché, I think. Touré wakes up in the midst of what he calls the whatever apocalypse. It's an apocalypse where everyone disappeared, the city became overrun with vegetation, and wild animals began to roam the street, with all of that change happening in one night. Plus, the weather starts to defy explanation or prediction, with tornadoes one minute and snowstorms the next. Touré will gather a band of 6 other survivors, and they will hunt for answers. The early readers are giving this a rating of 3.8 stars. If you're interested in the Apocalypse 7, it comes out May 25th. All right, The Kingdoms by Natasha Pulley. Jo arrives in London. It's the 19th century. France is ruling England and has outlawed English. If that sounds odd, it should to us, but Jo doesn't see it that way because he has amnesia. He doesn't remember anything before arriving in London, nor does he remember how the world is supposed to be. When a postcard arrives for Jo in the illegal language of English from the rebel nation of Scotland, Jo will embark on remaking history and himself. This book is described as a genre-bending, time-twisting alternate history. It's recommended for fans of The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle and David Mitchell. Early readers have given a 3.89 stars rating on Goodreads. If you're interested in The Kingdoms, it comes out May 25th. All right. This is the one that we're also getting on audio, as you can see by the little starburst. Day Zero by C. Robert Cargill. One day, Pounce discovers everyone he knows and loves will soon discard him. He is a robot nanny who looks like a cuddly tiger. On the same day, the robots revolt. When the fighting breaches Pounce's home, he must choose whether or not to join his robot brethren or help the 8-year-old girl he's cared for his whole life get to safety. This so far has starred reviews from Kirkus, Publishers Weekly, and Booklist. I see a lot of reviews. I do not see a lot of reviews that get starred in multiple publications, certainly not in 3 publications at once. There's only a handful of times, and they've all turned out to be good books. If you're interested, we're also getting it on audiobook, as I said, but also in large print. And it comes out May 18th. All right, so today was a bit short, but I feel like that's partly because I figured out how best to sort of cut things down. And one of the things I've cut out is a lot of the well-reviewed but almost forgotten, which is going to be a discussion board post on our Goodreads page. If you haven't been to the Tea New Book Tuesday Goodreads page, I'm going to start posting the discussion posts with titles that didn't make it to the show really regularly. I've separated out, I've seriously thought about putting all of the nonfiction there, except for maybe a handful of titles that I think are really interesting. So let me know how you feel about that. If you'd rather have me discuss more nonfiction, or if you'd rather read about it on a discussion board post. If you don't have an opinion, obviously you don't have to say anything. But our Goodreads group keeps growing and I keep adding more as it does. If you want to win any of these 3 books, go ahead and put I want to win in the comments and your MPL location for pickup, which I require for like a legit entry. The MPL branch has to be there. And I also sent out the MPL pre-orders newsletter this morning. If you aren't subscribed to it, it is how you get to a list of all of these books and click on them and go straight to our catalog. That's it for this week. Next week, we're going to start into June's pre-orders because we're already talking about June. So get excited about that. Thank you for watching. Stop sharing. And I will see you guys next week.